Speaking of, we were joking about Kyle, or Filthy was joking about Kyle, like not working for his money, or in this hypothetical
Anymore,
job
right.
thing. Yeah. Did you guys see this kerfuffle? There's a subreddit called anti-work.
Yes,
and
I know that. I've heard of this subreddit, but I haven't seen anything from it. So what's
a mod from the anti-work subreddit went on Fox News with Jesse Waters, who I don't know how popular he is on Fox News. I've seen his face before. Like, he looked familiar when I watched the clip. It's only like a 3-minute clip, but it is so embarrassing and difficult to watch. Like the person they and the whole subreddit of anti-work, apparently I don't really follow it, I just know of it, but apparently beforehand they said, like, they took a big poll and were like, do we want our mods going on an interview in media and Fox News or whatever? And apparently the overwhelming response was like, no, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. This is a horrible, horrible idea. Don't do that. And this person went on and did it anyway. And like, you hear Fox and you think like, oh, are they going to like throw a sneaky bee little question or try and throw them off their game or throw salt into the mix? No, it is the most basic questions. And this person just keeps digging themselves a hole. So first of all, they get on the screen.
Wait, hold on. Are we watching this or just you describing
it? No, we
can't watch it.
Right.
Can't watch. Okay.
YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I'm just describing it. You can find it's like a 3-minute clip on YouTube. But the first thing you notice in the 3-minute like side by side is you've got the Fox News host, good looking guy, well dressed, clean background. Obviously, he's a news host. The other person, the mod of anti-work, is not looking at the camera. They're slumping, sitting over to the side. Their bed isn't made behind them. It is messy. The lighting isn't right. And it's just embarrassing to watch. And so you see this guy, Jesse, asking questions, and Jesse Waters, the host, being like, so anti-work, like, first of all, just how old are you? And the person was like 30. It's a trans 30-year-old. And they're like, okay. And what do you do for work? And he said, she was like, I'm a dog walker, 30-year-old dog walker. And and Jesse Waters is sitting there like, oh. And how many hours a week do you work? And she was like, 20 to 25 hours a week. And he's like, and you think that's too much? You think that's just far too much? And she was like, not really answering that. But instead of, and I understand the frustration of people like who see the need for having conversations about workers' rights, because that is very important. But what they got was someone who literally said, this is a quote, that this person said, laziness is a virtue. Laziness is a virtue if you're not engaging in like the capitalist overstructure that is trying to force you to work. And it was cataclysmic how bad it went for him. I'm trying to see. I wrote something else down about what the fuck. Oh yeah, like he then asked her like, okay, so you work 20 hours a week dog walking. Do you have any aspirations outside of that? And she was like, I want to teach philosophy. And it was like, dude, this could not have gone worse and looked worse. It is so uncomfortable. It makes the whole movement of those people look like they genuinely, it made them look like, despite any arguments they have that are totally reasonable about workers' rights, it makes them look like a bunch of children who are like, I don't want to work. And so I went there today. I don't really go to that forum, but I went and looked around, and like everyone, like 100% of comments that weren't removed by these mods were like, this is absurd to send a single 30-year-old dog walker who works 20 hours a week. By the way, someone
aspiring philosophy professor.
Aspiring philosophy professor. By the way, this person also had comments in their like history that they were posting on the Reddit that was like, I mean, I do work. I work 2 hours every day, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours a week dog walking. That's not 20 or 25. And it's like, oh my God. But like, every single person is like, this is a disaster. They have humiliated the whole movement. Like do you think it would have been better if they got a single parent who's working 2 jobs and is in insurmountable debt, and inflation is causing problems. They can't afford a home. They're hemorrhaging money. Somehow they could afford a lower amount on a mortgage, but they can't afford, or they can't afford a lower amount on a mortgage. They can't afford a higher amount on rent.
Off schedule to fill in for other people with no compensation. Someone who's who is scheduled to work, say 9 to 5, but they routinely ask her to stay till 8, which brings daycare troubles. Like this
Maybe
is what
lives in an area of
anti-work.
the country where it's really expensive to buy a home, can't afford a home while they're doing this. They're just trying to make ends meet, trying to get a better future for their kids, and they just can't.
Wages have stagnated for 30 years. Meanwhile, home prices are skyrocketing.
Do you know what so many angles. Walkers?
There's so many angles you could take on this that it's like, that's a good point. That is a good point. But instead, and like the response from the forum is exactly how you think Reddit would handle it. All of these anarchists, so-called, or a lot of the mods are so-called anarchists. They immediately just come down like fascists. Like, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. They had another one of their mods post like a little update to everything. This mod described themselves as a long unemployed 21-year-old. That just means you've never worked.
Yeah, right.
Like that just means you haven't had a job yet. And so like, and now they're like,
the
mods decided to put this person. It is just wild to see like the mods of a forum, which is like all you're doing. You're just mods. You're not leaders of any movement. You just make sure that people don't say against terms of service. For them to foist themselves and be like, we'll do interviews on mainstream media, to not be smart enough to realize that accepting a mainstream media interview from Fox as an untrained mod on a Reddit forum, they're gonna clown you. I know, Fox News, they're so stupid. No, they're professional news anchors. You think any of us could go up there with Anderson Cooper or the right-wing guy Tucker? You think we would get trounced by them because they know the medium, they know the format. They're not doing free speaking stuff. They know the right way to phrase things.
It might have helped too. Like there could be a team in that earpiece that they're listening to.
Yeah,
that's true too. Something tells me there was the only sounds he was getting in this interview in that earpiece was just howling laughter. Yeah, because I guarantee he had some like gotcha questions. They didn't even get to it. The big gotchas were how old are you and what is your occupation?
The whole team's really enjoying this. You take this from here. You got it. We're just gonna watch. Ask her about the dogs. Hey, ask her how many dogs she walks in a week, and then do the math.
These are some pretty long dog walks.
How many? Yeah, right. 25 hours a week, right? Wasn't that what it was?
That was the lie. The reality was 10.
All right. All right. Let's say it was 25. Let's say you're walking each dog for an hour. So that could be 25 dogs if you were dumb enough to do each dog one at a time. That's like a premium service, right? We've seen dog walkers before, right? They look like a kid holding as many balloons as he can hold. They're bunches of them.
They charge by the pound, because I could walk 10 unruly Chihuahuas, but only one unruly Great Dane.
Yeah, they charge more for different classes of dogs. I think you got like an XL dog. I didn't
realize how absurd dog walking is as a thing. You get a dog and you're like, I'm gonna take this animal. I'm gonna take this animal home and I'm gonna take care of it. But I'm not gonna do even the basic minimum of giving it a walk. I'm gonna pawn that out. I'm gonna farm that out to someone else to do this for me because I want the dog, but I don't want to do even a walk. That's insane.
In my opinion, the dog walk hirer is out working, right? So the dog walker is letting the dog go to getting a bathroom break during the day, right? I think that's the scoop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think normally so. I doubt it's like you're relaxing on the couch and like, have the help do it.
I don't know, man.
I mean, some people I'm sure are, right? Like, but probably not most. It's probably like a daycare for dogs kind of thing, which is the cutest thing ever, right? Like when my friends like send their dogs to daycare, they take a picture of the dog like during the day, and they give them a little report card, and they're like Roscoe didn't really enjoy Josephine, but he's best friends for life with Roger.
My wife is attempting to talk me into a dog right now.
There's like a picture of him and Roger, and Roger's like a basset hound, and Roger's like, oh, we're friends now. And it's like, oh, shit.
Those are so funny. And then you realize it's just some like drunk employee. It's sitting in the back 15 minutes before you arrive. Fucking Scooter loves to dance. What else? Alex is a Republican. Just making shit up.
Your dog had a MAGA hat on.
Dylan is suspended from daycare for racist behavior. And he pooped on the ground.
He stays away from all the blonde dogs.
He assaulted a chocolate lab. It's a hate crime.
How disrespected would you feel? Like, I would be furious if I were a professional athlete and the way I find out I'm being traded is by an at mention from like a third party. Like Dave Portnoy is letting me know that I'm gonna have to live in Cleveland now.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. It's like, dude, I'm a professional athlete in this fictitious world,
right? Yeah. Like it's like, I need a fucking moving company. Fuck.
Yeah, I feel like I've had worse. One time I was manager of accounts payable at this construction company, and I was young and I wasn't doing the job very well. I was basically covering for other people that did their job poorly, and it caused me to do my job poorly, and I got fired. Okay, so as I'm getting fired, I don't even know it. I know I'm on like thin ice a little bit, and my manager comes in and we sit in this like big conference room, but we're not on the end of the table, and he starts talking to me about like some of the issues that we're having and what we're working through, and I'm giving him like, my ideas and how things can get better and what I think some of the root causes are. And this is like 90 minutes of this. And then he gets interrupted. He has to take a call. So he comes back to me like 2 hours later, and like another 30 minutes again, he's interrupted. He has to take a call. And then like all day long, he fired me, and everything seemed to be more important than me, as he's
How
like,
old were you?
23, maybe.
That guy's a douchebag.
Yeah,
like, fuck that guy. That's really inconsiderate to you.
There would be some malicious shit going on at that office. Like, couldn't you have gone in and changed a 1 to a 0 or somewhere in the back end and just?
That's my understanding of computers. Yeah, I deleted all of your money.
I would have had to. I think maybe Bert Kreischer. I was listening to him talk about getting fired from a place, and they were like, "Oh yeah, but can you stay to the end of the day?" Oh yeah. I can stay to the end of the day, and went. Like, he was in charge of mailing stuff out, so he just mailed it all to the wrong people that day. It's like, yeah, if you fire me and then you expect me to work out this day, you're gonna leave me here with fucking keys to the castle. I'm going in the back to do some shit.
Yeah,
I remember some of the greatest weeks of my career were my 2-week notice. People would dread that, like, oh, I have to give 2 weeks notice. This sucks. I'm still gonna be here. I'm like, no, you don't get it. These 2 weeks are the best 2 weeks of your career while working here. Like, I'd work, it'd turn 5 o'clock, right? I'm like Fred fucking Flintstone sliding down the back of a dinosaur when that 5 o'clock bell rings. I'm out of there. They're like, what do you, can you stay late and help us with this? And I was like, man, I'd love to, but can't. Boom. I would never say no. Like, I would always stay, like, I wasn't that guy. But you're just like, yeah, no. There's nothing in it for me. I totally do this job for money, and I'm out.
Yeah. I'm somewhere in the middle on I on Reddit. It's hard to read Reddit comments like
anti-work type stuff.
Yeah, but I'm somewhere in the middle on some of it though. Some people will be like, they expect me to stay.
I would like a subreddit called Some Work.
Right? Some work. Some work. Or enough work.
Sufficient labor. How about that?
Yeah, but these, they'd be like, oh, don't you ever ask me to stay a minute late. Don't you ever ask me here a minute early. Don't you expect me to talk to you after the fucking clock goes off. And it's like, man, you are doing like the bare minimum. And that's fine in a lot of careers, if you want to call them that. Certainly in a lot of jobs, the bare minimum is plenty. But if you guys always talk about wanting this living wage, and you want the lowest possible wage to be the living wage, it sounds like you want to do the bare minimum and get the bare minimum. And I don't know. I've always just, when I was 19, I wanted to work so hard. I wanted to outwork everybody. I was like, these old men can't fucking hang. Y'all got kids my age that you've got to take care of. y'all are fucked. I can
Not me though. I got 2 Albanians back at home.
Yeah, I got 2 fucking ex-Soviet bloc motherfuckers at my house who think 3 hours of sleep a night is normal.
And I want to work hard because they're going to force me to drink a 40 of some Ukrainian lager when I get home, and I don't want it.
It would. Yeah.
I'm with you. The anti-work subreddit, sometimes I'm completely on board with them. This is an asshole boss that, like, you have approved PTO. You're fucking at the beach right now and they're telling you to come in tomorrow. No, you are bad at planning. You've known I wasn't going to be here available these days. You need to work it out. Why are you even texting me? I would leave him on red. But also, it seems to be that they're opposed to the very idea of outworking your coworker and getting that promotion.
That's very communist sort of viewpoints a lot of the times I find over there. Not unsurprisingly, they're very proud to be communists these days. It used to be a naughty word. We have commissions. We dug them out and exposed them and blacklisted them. Those Ned Isakoff looking motherfuckers.
McCarthy, the hero.
You know what I'm talking about, Taylor?
Make it a dirty word again.
Remember Ned Isakoff?
Who?
Ned Isakoff.
Oh, Ned Isakoff. Yes. Yep. Of course I know. Yeah, he got blacklisted from Hop Sings.
Yeah. Named names.
Oh, name. And then
dude, I'd name so many names under torture. I was watching this thing about Korea.
Dude, I'd be making up crimes, selling everyone I know down the river, and don't even think for a second that it would take more than a threat. I'm not getting tortured. They say
implied discomfort is plenty.
Yeah. They say, hey, what are you trying to miss dinner? Like
they come at Taylor with like hair clippers. He's like, no, don't cut my hair. Anything you want.
I can't reveal my chin. Like, no, I have a big fat face, and this is keeping it all together. Please, no.
These two guys.
This is why guys have beards to help.
Facial contouring for men. It works. 100%. It works.
I will never not have a beard ever.
Here's my thinking on this. And I say this as a man of the son who grows a beard. The kiss, I think, is bad. I think women don't love being kissed by beards. A lot of them anyway. But the look is good. So
you want to get it off your lips. I mean, I don't have a mustache really anyway, but I'll keep it off my lips. Like if I can grab it with my tongue, that's no good.
I need to trim up.
And I can
just when he alphas the fuck out of me, and he puts his I've got my head like on his collarbone, and he's got this big like bearded cheek, and I'm like, this is the gayest thing I've done so far.
You could outdo him. It is through your decision to shave that you're not outdoing his beard. You've got a great beard.
This anti-work thing that I see it on Reddit, I get exposed to it, and sometimes Facebook.
Oh, we've looked at it before. Yeah.
Is interesting to me. There's like a movement, especially amongst young people, to compartmentalize work and not have it take over their lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm really torn on it because
to do the bare minimum.
Right. Okay. Then you see some of what I'm seeing too, which, like, on one hand, look, if your employer's taking advantage of you, if you're a waiter or a waitress and they're calling on you to fill in for someone else and they seem to give you a hard time for it and not the guy you had to fill in for, or if they use family or pizza to fuck you over as like, hey, tell you what, Kyle, we need you to work all weekend, but take pizza Monday off.
Yeah, you're going to get a pizza party.
Yeah, it's like, well, you want me to work on demand for Saturday and Sunday, and then I can have Monday off, and we're going to call that square?
Yeah,
how about you suck
bullshit.
A dick? Yeah. So like, I get
what
that
I've
part.
seen.
Go ahead.
What I've seen is they don't really draw any difference between working hard to get ahead, which I think is like something that we all grew up with, like hearing a lot, and sort of those scenarios like you see in like maybe Asian business culture where people are literally being worked to death. Everything is sort of like painted with the same brush. And I see it on like a boring dystopia or something like that on that subreddit. And sometimes I agree with it. It's like someone like having a hard time just trying to follow the rules. And then sometimes it's like, my boss expected me to come in on Saturday to do clerical like corrections, and can you believe it? And it's like, well, what'd you do?
Yeah,
What'd you do? Did you decide you didn't want to like have a job this week? I don't know. They just.
It's like you said, they don't make any distinguishment between. Is distinguishment a word? They don't distinguish at all between like working to get ahead and showing a little ambition and your work just like fucking you over. Like I'm all for standing up to bad bosses. I'm all for this idea of like being able to get yourself in the perfect job for you. I love that. When the gig economy first came around, I falsely thought that it would lower. There's this thing called, like an economist would call workplace friction. And this friction is this idea, like, why aren't you in the perfect job for you? Oh, it's because it's kind of hard to leave my job, to find a new job, etc. And if somehow it becomes really easy to do that, to find the perfect job, because you don't need to move anymore. Now we can work online and you can just go on, fill out a form and get a better job. And it's an easy switch. There's less workplace friction. And you're more likely to be in the best place for you. That sounds great. Now, that's not what the gig economy kind of did. It just fucked people over who deliver food. But that's what I thought would happen. That was my dream of how it would play out. Anyway, I'm for people getting the best job. I'm for people not getting screwed over by bad bosses. I like that. But man, sometimes Reddit is like, they wanted me to finish my task. I told them no. It's like, well, I mean, he is paying you. They're so anti-work. Carry on.
There does seem to be like a chasm here of difference between some of the. I just looked at top this month on anti-work Reddit, and like anti-work. Some of them are like straight up like someone being like, the boss being like, you got to come into work tomorrow, and they're like, it's my day off. He's like, you got to be a team player, and the person's like, my dad died yesterday. It's like okay. my uncle died a few days ago. Don't be a victim. And he's like,
is like that a real one?
It is, but it's like it's so perfect and in text. Like you can obviously fake text conversations, but like that's a league away from what Woody's referring to, which is like, hey, you got to wipe down the counters before we leave. Before we close up Cold Stone Creamery for the evening. Go fuck yourself. I'm not closing the ice cream hatch.
Kiss my ass, you wage slave. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm not locking the door on my way out either.
You're going to steal all your cream, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it a lot, and I'm kind of 50-50 on like some of it, because like sometimes it's like what I'll see are like want ads, like and like the things that are required for a job, and it's just like, of course, the thing you see all the time, which is like tons of experience that's in some cases impossible. Like they'll invent a new field of expertise and then be hiring for someone who is an expert in that career of expertise that was just invented, but require like 6 years of expertise at the brand new field.
Like Google will make a new API, application programming interface, and they'll be like, we want you to have 5 years with it. This thing is 18 months old. Or
maybe a piece of equipment, even like you know, okay. Or that, same thing. Like they don't make any fucking sense. But, right. I don't know. Some of it.
Or do you have a master's? We're willing to pay you $14.25. Oh, you can fuck off with that too. I get it. I'm as anti-work as anyone, but I'm more like, I don't know. You should be rewarded. I just want you in the right spot in the right job, not so much flipping the bird and not getting ahead. And that seems like what anti-work encourages. Just doing the minimum.
Some sort of Fight Club type anarchy where we wear leather clothes that last a lifetime or whatever he said.
If you follow the anti-work subreddit's mentality, I think you'll always just bounce from one terrible job to the next. It's not really about setting yourself up with skills where multiple employers are wishing they had the opportunity to pay you 6 digits. That's where you want to be.
To the point where, like, what? Like the rules are better? And where, like, no one is allowed to work extra hard? They want to put a cap on productivity. That's what it's about. Because they're allowed to bow out of extra work. They just don't want you to be able to do the extra work, right? That's what it comes down to.
I'm processing this. Yeah, but the world's not going to change.
Of course not.
That's that sometimes I see young people, like, I'll I'll be a teacher. Well, teachers don't earn much. Well, I'm going to change that about teaching. Are you, sweetie? Are you?
you raise the pay anymore, you won't be qualified to teach, bitch. You're right on the cusp right as we speak, if I'm being honest.
So,
you know what? Here's the thing I see on Reddit a lot, and I don't get it. So maybe you could explain it to me. Maybe I'm in the dark here, and I'm the only one. Why do they hate landlords? They seem to like demonize like the idea of someone making money by owning property and the idea of there even being landlords. And like, oh, you haven't seen this? It's very.
I know what you're talking about.
I've seen bad landlords get hated on.
No.
A lot of deservingly so.
The concept of there being landlords, people who profit from just owning a bunch of property.
That's where Reddit goes too liberal on me.
This is the socialist stuff that's going around right now, right? The idea that this is someone making money. What is it? I don't want to go into the terms. I don't know the fucking terms. Like I don't want to guess it wrong kind of deal. But it's like away from like the means of the production kind of deal. So this is someone who's just taking money from someone else for doing nothing. Is a kind of sentiment of that.
What it's actually is a guy who took on a risk by making a huge investment, oftentimes with their own two hands, fixing up a place and making it nicer than it was before, increasing its value, renting it out. And then these renters are like, fuck you. Why do you get to do this? Dude, you could have. This is available to all of us, especially if you haven't bought a home before.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from with like the middle of the road thing. Like they are going too far with like every landlord is bad or something. Like I'm not that clued into that universe.
Yeah, what I've read,
I can definitely empathize with the concerns I've seen, which is like every adult in my life told me to go to college and that would give me a job that paid me enough that I could get a comfortable house. I could start saving. I could, prepare to get a mortgage. And that's like, oh, well, now I'm in crippling debt. This degree every adult in my life told me to get is no longer as valuable as it was when they got it. And I'm being told, oh, well, sorry, you're up shit creek. You better go work at Domino's with your, $35,000, $40,000 in debt.
So I had a different
when I finished my undergraduate degree.
All right. So I want to hear your feedback on this. Growing up, my father didn't say, get a degree and you'll have this future. He said, Woody, he doesn't call me Woody, 80% of degrees are bullshit. You need a job training degree. You can be a doctor. You can be an engineer. You can be a nurse. You can be an accountant. I'm like, I think I want to get a business degree. No, business is a general bullshit degree that doesn't get you a job. Accounting is a degree. Mechanical engineering is a degree. Computer science. These are job training degrees. What about English? English is for finding a husband. That's what the English degree is for. It is not for getting a job afterwards. This is like what I learned. So when I hear other people say, man, I got this degree and now there's no jobs on the other side. I'm like, well, yeah, you got the wrong one. They didn't tell you these were the wrong ones. They told me that these were bullshit degrees and that there aren't like, it's not job training. The job training degrees are the ones.
I remember when I was
maybe other people didn't hear this.
Yeah. I formulated this by watching Seinfeld as a kid, as bizarre as that sounds. Because I just remember like the characters in that show and how like they had those nonsensical degrees and like how like whenever George wanted to go get a job, he couldn't because he had like he had like an English degree or something. Like I don't remember what George Costanza's degree is in. I wish I did off the top of my head, but it's something like that.
That was a thing in that show.
It wasn't architecture,
but like he's always struggling because. Like, well, what do you do? He's like, well, I worked at Vandal Industries, and it's like he's gonna make it up the whole way through. Yeah.
Philosophy is a degree that oftentimes lawyers take, and so you get a philosophy in your undergrad, but know that you're taking a giant risk. If you don't actually get accepted into law school and then pass law school and become an attorney, then you don't have then you basically you ruined it. You chose a degree that doesn't get you a job. That's what philosophy is. Oh, are you philosophy? Great. I'm sorry.
No, I have a psychology degree, undergraduate psychology degree, which was almost useless for me when I finished my undergrad.
There are a lot of therapy degrees that are similar, and I might be off on this, but I think I'm on target. Like if you finish with an undergrad and you want to be a physical therapist or occupational therapist or something like that, you can't get a job. Some jobs require masters, and I think psychology is one.
What's interesting?
There was stuff I could do, but almost nothing was particularly well paid, and almost none of it was particularly interesting work either for me. So it was like I had to go back and get my graduate degree before anything would open up.
Some jobs need that.
One thing that's always been interesting to me, like you mentioned, the two kinds of degrees. Now you can't really pull like a Frank Abagnale Jr. and just go become a doctor or become a lawyer, because those are like job training degrees, like you said. Like even in that movie Catch Me If You Can, like he thinks it's cool to be a doctor until like that kid comes in all fucked up and he's like vomiting in the broom closet because he saw a skint knee. He's like, oh wait a minute. Wait a minute, I can't be a doctor. This is dumb. And then he goes and pretends to be a fucking lawyer. And but like you can't do those things. What you could do is like any of those jobs that require like a business degree. It seems like, why can't you just get a fake diploma? Like what if you just like printed out a fake business? I don't know what kind of job requires.
May as well try.
Like you're getting one of those. It isn't. Is it a crime?
To print out a fake business degree? There's no way that's a crime. There's just no way.
There's whole institutes devoted to exactly that.
All right, but it's signed by the Ronald McDonald House. So
here's my thing. It seems like University of Georgia prints out like, I don't know how many of those a year, those diplomas. So why can't I, as a private individual, print myself one out?
I have
it
is
gives
not
them the
illegal to buy or make fake diplomas. It is fraud if you try to pass them off as real.
But they won't know. It'll be so good.
All right, so let's talk about
the fine print. This is not real.
Because the way that you check to see if a diploma is real is like a bouncer checking your ID. Like you hold it up.
Hold it to the light.
But
it's got like a business with a Z in it.
Here's the thing. Let's
I
say
remember
that you're
business having an S in it.
Yeah, that was like, it must have been a different timeline.
All right, let's assume you're applying for some sort of middle level management position at like some it doesn't matter what company. Your job is going to be like managing people in an office scenario perhaps, and you need this degree, that you are going to fake. Are they really going to like fucking like check it out really, or like call anybody, or like scan a fucking barcode? I think they're just going to be like, oh, okay, you got your degree from blah blah blah, and you were here for this number of years, okay. And
here's my guess. I think if you go to a big enough company, if you're working for Pepsi or Cisco or Facebook,
maybe,
then they check you. If you're working for someone small, then they don't.
Yeah, I would imagine. And it'll probably go by like whether or not you're doing your job. Like if you're faking it and you truly have made it and you have no idea what you're doing.
That's where the genius comes in of picking a job that you can do, but also that like your business degree would cover, your fake business degree. Like you wouldn't become a doctor or a lawyer.
You're anti-switching someone's dog out without their knowledge, but you're pro-hiring someone who doesn't actually have the right degree?
Yes.
You're okay with switching the degree out on someone?
Yes.
Just I'm tracking on these.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're keeping up.
You're also willing to send me that link still, right?
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'm not going to send you the link, but whenever this is published on Saturday, you can just go in the description and
you can look it up yourself.
Look, he doesn't have the skill set. He's been lying about this skill set the entire show.
Actually, that is true. Kyle is the worst copy paster I've ever met.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bad.
Right.
I've been teasing about it for 10 years.
Yeah, Control C, Control V. I don't get it. It's can't wrap it around my head.
He pushed back. Like, no, Woody, I'm good at it. I feel like now he's come to accept that he's actually slow at copying.
He was still right-click.
Oh no,
until a year and a half ago.
I got fed up with it. I got some pedals under my desk. One of them is Control C. One of them is Control V. I'm the fucking copy paste master. Yeah. Like it's
one of the pedal. I just step on it and it injects me with something, and then I'm happy again.
All right. So Kyle, you walk in. You're past the hiring process at this company. You're a businessman now, at least as far as they know. Vandalay Industries. You go into their. Let's say it's fucking. I don't know, pick a company you'd like to work at. And then what's the idea that you would come to the floor with where they'd go, man, this guy, he's not lying at all. Definitely. Like he knows. If you're working
that's how they think about it too.
Chipotle, you go into the Chipotle board meeting, you need to have an idea. Day one, they're calling on you. We need to revolutionize our business,
what if
Mr. Myers.
Didn't make someone need to
guys hear me out. If we I
would ask, here's what I would do. I would ask for they want to revolutionize Chipotle.
We need to take Chipotle and totally flip it on its head.
Okay,
You know
so
how
what
they
I would
have-
do is I would ask for at least I would need a day to come up with my proposal at least, right?
Of course.
They can't expect me to just had this like ad-libbed. Then I call my friend that works at corporate for Chick-fil-A and I get her to do my work for me. So we were talking about this. I've been fascinated by this all week. The issue with the Reddit admin, and the ridiculous drama that went on this week. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna go over some of the highlights here. I posted a little link there to an article The Verge did on it, and I'm gonna try to find right when it kicks off here and just read it straight to you verbatim. Okay, so essentially, I can't find the right part of the article, but the issue is that this transsexual woman was hired as a Reddit admin, and her background is that she witnessed her father rape and torture a 10-year-old child when she was growing up.
Jesus Christ.
As a member of the Green Party, if I remember correctly, she was running for some candidacy not so long ago. She made her father part of the campaign. With that as his background, her current husband, he had some interesting tweets recently. I'm going to read one of those verbatim. Let's see.
She's British. I don't think you mentioned that. She is, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Here's a tweet from her husband. I want to find the right one, the one that's absolutely absurd.
Did the guy who raped and tortured the kid go to jail?
I can't.
Good question.
I don't know. She says, this is her husband. I fantasize about children having sex, sometimes with adults, sometimes with each other, sometimes kidnapped and forced into bad situations, sometimes coerced through fantasy mind control. That's straight from his Twitter. And there's about 8 others that are,
Good God.
pretty similar.
So he's into pedophile stuff. Her father was a pedophile. She watched her father do pedophile things, but we don't hold her responsible for that, I guess, because she was super young.
Yeah, she was a kid. I'm assuming.
But-
This is the first I'm learning.
Well, she also made him part of her cabinet when she was running.
I was
recently.
headed to that. Yeah. But we
gotta
do
get rid
hold
of
her
that.
responsible for her more recent actions where she put her father in her professional life, I assume, as running schools. I don't know.
Convicted that year of raping and torturing a 10-year-old child. Damn it. It doesn't say if there was prison time or something. It just says convicted.
Yeah,
that
how
year.
long ago was this? I mean, not that it makes it any better, but just out of curiosity. I mean, this
Yeah,
is
I'm trying to
horrible. But like, when was this? Because he could be out. Like, I mean, when he was, it's just.
Yeah, if she's an adult, it's been a long time. So maybe he's out of prison by now. But like, or he must
Yeah.
be if he's like getting offered a job for the whatever Green Party.
Her name is Amy Knight, by the way. If anybody wants to like do a little research on her, it's AIMEE and then Knight, like Knights of the Round Table.
So it seems, though, that she no longer works at Reddit. It seems like Reddit's real crime was hiring someone without a very good background check.
They knew all of this going in, and they only fired her after many subreddits privated out of protest because there were people who were saying, hey, wait a minute, this person is pro-pedophilia. Her husband is pro-pedophilia. Her father is a literal pedophile. And you've got her on here. And they were saying, how dare you dox this woman and be transphobic?
Yeah, Kyle, you're coming off as a little transphobic right now.
I've called. Listen, here's an image of Amy. I have referred to Amy as a woman every step of the way. She's got those same glasses Dirty has.
Does she? Do they share the same glasses?
So much magnification.
Oh, yes.
We're not. Let's no.
You're coming
some
off as
people have bad
transphobic
eyes.
again.
You're coming off as sidist right now.
I have nothing against the ocularly impaired. Okay.
No, certainly not. We're proud people.
Anyway, this is ridiculous. I don't know why Reddit hired someone with that background.
As an admin.
And so how does? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I saw that they posted a thing saying that they didn't vet the person properly. So they were kind of trying to say that. So I don't know. I kind of came in on this, I think, yesterday. I saw that there were a bunch of subreddits that had gone private, and that was, Streisand effect. I was like, okay, well, what's going on here? And I looked into it, and then I was like, oh, God, I kind of wish I didn't look into this.
So they wrote, as of today, the employee in question is no longer employed by Reddit. We built a relationship with her first as a mod, then through her contractor work on Reddit Public Access Network. We did not adequately vet her background before formally hiring her. Debate and criticism have always been and always will be central to the conversation on Reddit, including discussion about public figures and Reddit itself, as long as they're not used for vehicles of harassment. Mentioning a public figure's name should not get you banned. So, I don't know. It sounds like they thought they knew her, didn't run a background check because they thought they knew her, and then once they learned who she really was, they fired her.
Well, that's good they fired her, but maybe I'm not getting it. So admin, obviously, that's actually working for it, not a mod.
Right.
Couldn't they have just opened up all of those subreddits if they wanted to? Nope, you can't lock down. Or I guess that would draw even more attention to it, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the right move.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
And it wasn't like, all right, so it wasn't like, I don't know, name a small subreddit. It was like pictures and
that happened.
Like videos.
Videos.
It was like major subreddits were privating themselves. I don't know, out of the top 25 subreddits, like several of those, and the people who are moderators and admins for those are they're part of the team, they're,
I guess so.
They would really caused a stink to start be like, all right, well, you don't want to open pics, then we'll just clean house here. That's not going to happen.
Is there money in being a mod on a big subreddit?
I wouldn't think so.
If you worked there forever.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a side hustle to be had.
I feel like there's money in being the Our Videos mod in the same way that there's money being in politics. Oh, no. The money's not from the politics exactly. The money comes in a more circuitous route. Or I might misuse that word, but yeah.
I could see that.
By the way, can I write this off as wardrobe if I wear it on the show? That's how it works, right?
I think it has to do with whether or not you can wear it anywhere else. That would be a gray one.
Kyle, I don't think you can wear that anywhere else.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, if it was if it was like overalls that said Jiffy Lube on them, then you could clearly write that off. If it was a costume used in a performance, like Cats or something, you could clearly write that off. On the other hand, if you bought, I don't know anything about men's pants, Dickies or chinos, or something you would wear to a business conference because you didn't have them already, you can't write that off because those are normal clothes that you're going to make as part of your wardrobe.
Fair enough.
That's how
I don't cut any corners with my taxes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever written off clothes. Never thought about that before. But I've also, I have. I've done that with costumes for the show.
I was totally gonna say those Al costumes.
Yeah,
now, unless you're trying to convince me you wear them on weekends with the wife or the ex-girlfriend, as we call her.
Those all hang out in that closet right there. A big bunch of costumes.
There's no closet there. I know that room like the back of my hand. That's a window.
You're right. He caught me. That closet back there.
Yes, there's a closet.
Yeah, that's the closet because it's my house, obviously. I know.
Yeah, so that whole thing was ridiculous. I saw that earlier this week.
Man, watching these, we talked about that clip of Roughnecks working. I just looked back over to that tab. When you guys watch this, for me, what I imagine is myself in that scenario and having both of my arms torn off by the torque in those spinning things.
Oh.
When you guys watch that, are you I could do that? I watch them and it's an elaborate dance where one misstep is that pipe that looks like kind of a normal pipe. Well, it's coming 15 miles an hour at the back of your head and it's made of tungsten, it'll kill you.
I think, am I a liberal pansy? Because I feel like there's OSHA requirements that need to protect people.
Yeah.
The hands and arms must get ripped off all the time. Now, I've seen in Reddit comments, the most reliable source on the internet, that that's not how they do it anymore. That now there are machines, and it's not just a human wrestling 3-ton pipes.
Well, and these guys are getting
that's
fucked.
not as fun.
Well, it's weird. Like safety versus productivity, they're natural enemies, right? Like that guy's getting shit done in a hurry. I bet the machines that do it are more expensive and slower.
Yeah, it's like with any of these like wild out there jobs. Have you watched those videos of people climbing those antenna towers?
Yeah,
And,
those
like,
are insane. And it's like
it
20 or
stresses you
30
out.
grand because they're climbing a mile up vertically with 2 leads. And it's not a question of like, it's the same with the people that have to service the windmills. Like, I know there was that famous photo that went around like probably a decade ago. It's like, because when you're up there, you die if something goes wrong. And like the turbine caught fire.
Did you say it was 20 or 30 grand for what?
To climb up to the top of those 1.5 mile long cell towers and change the blinking light at the top.
I would do that tomorrow for 30 grand.
But okay, but I'm thinking that you only need to do it once every 3 years. You know, it's like one of those things where it's the same with the people that are on the power lines walking, like clearing snow off them or something like that. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you would, but like they're not getting paid for fuck all. They're getting paid
we're
for
gonna send the guy up instead, Woody. But thanks.
like we were talking about the OSHA thing, like you can watch those videos of the guys climbing and like the regulations are like you hook in and then you go up and then you unhook and you rehook and you go up and it's like, and the people who actually do it, you watch the videos, they're not hooking onto shit. They're just climbing, having a sandwich, pissing.
Like, I'm going to die if I get this wrong. I might as well die quickly and very fluidly.
It seems like they should be able to do that, right? Like you picture this, a ladder. Next to the ladder, there's a pipe. You hook on that pipe, and every like 20 feet, there's a stopper. So just every 20 feet, you just switch your hook. Like you could,
because I think that falling 20 feet, regardless on that pipe, that's not going to be you are the guy maintaining that pipe, Woody. They're not sending another guy up there to be like, well, we changed the light, but go up there, make sure the pipe is tight up there.
No. This is welded together, much like the ladder is, right? This is a ladder with a safety device that you hook on, and you can never fall more than 20 feet. On average, you'll fall 10.
Can I just interject that I bet a pipe capable of, handling this sort of thing, a mile long into the sky adds to like the weight, maybe even like, now we got to use the 17 gauge cables, those, that like 4 miles worth of cable that stretches everywhere. Now it's got to be a bigger gauge. I bet keeping those things light and it is a big
You're
deal.
right. I bet you're literally, they come in there and they put a paper down. They're like, do you see the cost benefit analysis of keeping you alive if anything goes wrong? Make sure nothing goes wrong. Like,
hey, could you put a pipe here so I have to clamp so much?
Yeah. Nope. We will just pay your spouse $35,000 more. So,
but we're gonna put it also at the top of the spire. She's gonna have to go and compete for it.
That's how
you signed the paperwork.
There's a new scary movie that's about this. It's about 2 girls.
Yeah,
who,
I saw this.
Yeah, they climb up together and then like the ladder breaks and they end up like dangling.
It's one of those movies that was made with we have a premise. How do we make money off of it? Because it's like,
and a green screen. Don't forget the green screen.
Did you? I can't remember.
I wonder.
It's
the
pretty
tower
recent.
or something.
It's the same as the one
with
that's
a base
like
rig, but it seems like a base jumping rig would add a lot to safety. Am I crazy?
I would have one.
I think that the problem, right, isn't with base jumping that you need to have distance enough to not to fall, but specifically away from shit, right? So let's say you lose grip and you fall.
Who cares?
Yeah, you're dead anyways.
The alternative was splat.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it doesn't matter if you're not right side up.
You
like
fall from something, like you're falling long enough to like have regrets, like breathe in again.
Yeah,
I should have went back to school.
There'd be a danger zone, right? With a base rig, like
1 mile.
The first 200 feet is death, and then once you get to 400, you're almost back in the safety zone. Now you're jumpable, and if you feel yourself falling, just push off.
It'll take 18 seconds to fall a mile. 18 seconds to fall. Like, yo, that's a YouTube short. Hey guys, I'm falling to my death. I got about 3 more seconds.
18 seconds. Remember to like and subscribe.
18 seconds to hit terminal velocity from start.
Oh.
This is according to Quora.
Well, that's
so they did a good idea.
The terminal velocity is around 150
No,
miles per hour.
assuming initial velocity is 0 and the acceleration of gravity is 32 feet a second, not taking in wind resistance into account, to whatever, then it's 18.2
No,
seconds.
you guys.
So even longer
the numbers
with wind
check
resistance.
Yeah, that's so I've fallen lots of times, but I have
Controlled
some
falling.
element of wing. No, but I have like some element of wing that's halfway flying, and it's way longer than 18 seconds. Like that time I almost
you have
died.
Well,
that's
wind
a
resistance
mile,
and stuff.
supposedly. Like I don't know how high up those towers go. Like the ones I watch on YouTube, they're I'm guessing like 1,200 feet. Something like that for the tall ones.
Is a
There's some real big
bell
ones.
tower.
Like
yeah,
how many feet is a mile?
oh.
Like 5,400 or something.
5,400, and the cell tower I had. It is a cell tower, right? I had one of those in the back of my like elementary school, and that. Like it's hard to even put a number to how tall it is, right? Like I can't just tell you it was 5,400 feet tall.
Like I just want to know, like pick a cell tower.
Well, I said how tall is a cell tower, and it says 400 feet, and that's not right.
Okay, the Kiev TV tower is 1,263 feet. So that's almost.
That's not even a mile.
But
no.
Yeah, there are no mile tall.
No,
towers.
it's like almost. That's like a quarter mile, almost a quarter mile, right?
There are no mile tall towers.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there is. I'm just saying that there's like I'm saying that like in my head it's super tall, but like that's why when you said a base rig jump or whatever, it's like you probably don't even have enough time to get the thing unfurled before you hit the ground.
Oh, you do. That's what they're for. They jump off bridges and shit with them, you know?
I guess you're right.
They jump off towers all the time. Yeah. Actually, the A in base stands for antenna.
One day every 6 months.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know that. So base jumping is an acronym?
Yeah.
Cool. Didn't know that. I like to know all the acronyms.
What does it mean?
Know.
Base.
Barely alive, surely.
It'd be funnier if the word jumping was the one that was the acronym. Base. I don't know. I would never do base jumping. That's the one that even the risk takers out there like Woody are like, hard pass, risk reward profile, kind of shit. No thank you.
Building antenna span Earth. Base jumping. Span is bridge, I guess.
Right.
I thought it was because you jumped off of like flat surfaces. I don't know what I thought it was.
I'm gonna keep working on it, but it's a good start.
Building antenna span. What was the E? And
entertainment.
Shit, I forgot it already.
Energy. What are the 4 ancestral tenets of
building antenna span Earth? That must mean Cliff.